Hey everybody, before I do the heart of this video, I want to say two things. One, if you comment before you watch the video based on the title, then I'm going to laugh at you. And two, test scores are not the only measure of how smart you are. They can be wildly off, but I do think they're a good measure of how a school performs in general. So the topic of this video is why free market education is the best, and it's statistically verifiable based on the test score results that private schools do better than public schools, and it's not a fluke or a small difference. The gap is very large, and I'm gonna go through these statistics here. Let me pull them up. All right, here it is, and I posted up the annotation so you can go and follow me. And this is the people who are in favor of private education put these together, but these are the government's numbers, and the government is supposed to be advocating for public schools because public schools are the government schools, and they take all these statistics from the NCES, which is a subset of the Department of Education. And you can look at these results here. I'm just going to look at the math scores. That all of the scores have similar results. The private schools did better in pretty much all of them. I think it might have been every single one they post here. But on the NAEP test, which is a test that they administer to students under different names, I remember taking it, but it's not called NAEP. When you'll take it at the state level, they can call it different things. But for the math results in 2011, they do it at the 4th and the 8th grade. I only took it in the 8th grade as far as I can remember. Okay, so for math, the private schools, 13% of the students were classed as advanced in their math skills versus 8% for the public schools. That was with grade 8. And then for grade 4, 9% of the students were advanced in private schools and 6% in public schools. So I said I was only going to do math, but I might as well do reading too. This is for the NAEP 2011. 13% of private school students were advanced, and 17% of public school, and that was in grade 4. And then grade 8 is 8% advanced for private school and 3% for public school. So people, I don't understand, where is the debate? There's no public school, private school debate. You can look at these statistics even with the religious private schools. They're supposed to be teaching you principles that are completely contradictory towards science, and yet they still score better on the science exams at the private schools. And people want to say public schools are better. Well, here's what I understand. With all of the resources that the state being the whole government system that we have here in the U.S., with all of the resources of the state being poured into the public schools at the local level, at the state level, at the federal level, why are the public schools not better when they pretty much, because if you think about it, if you're going to private school, you're a family, you're being double taxed. You're being taxed on your property tax, and you're taxed for your federal programs that go to public education, but you're also paying for your kid to go to private school. And yet you still manage to do better with your kid's education. So the state, with all of its resources available to it, still cannot do a better job taking everyone's money to go to the public schools. And I just don't understand why anyone could be opposed to certainly I don't think the ideal situation would not to have school vouchers, or not to have those, but why are we continuing to fund the public schools when the evidence is here? The government's own numbers even say that the public schools are failing. And you have the teachers' unions out there begging for more money, and all of the Democratic supporters of the teachers' unions, and a few Republican ones too. And they still are trying to get their way with that. So anyway, these numbers are definitely just something you could take a look at. Um, Free market education does work. There's no debate about it. At least not in the United States. I haven't taken a look at other countries, but the results are in here. Yes, private schools are better. Um, and if you disagree, get over it, because the math does not add up in your favor, and you can't argue with math. Thanks for watching.